Welcome back to the Too Much Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Joshua Marshall, and we have two very special guests joining us early this afternoon here. And we're very excited to have them be a part of our episode today. And one is we've known before. If you guys have seen on our social media channels, we've been able to help out and donate and be a part of the campaign that she has started several years back. And has branched that out to Edmonton as it's great right now in Calgary as well. Um, but we have Melissa David from Parachutes for Pets. Melissa, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And our next guest, he's going to be sponsoring our podcast this year. He's getting into the industry. He's been kind of brought up through the great ranks of horse racing and chuck wagon racing. We like to welcome Tuff Dreger. Dregs, how's it going, buddy?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Nice, nice. So, do you have like I know in hockey we have nicknames, and there's a big hockey insider. His name's Darren Dreger, and his nickname is Dregs. But do you have your own nickname? How you go through the industry of your sport?
Well, funny story. Yeah, I played minor hockey and everything, and nobody could really come up with a nickname for me. They thought Tough kind of just stuck with it. It was Tough or Tuffy kind of thing. Yeah, I wasn't,
Yeah, yeah.
never really had a nickname. So,
Nice, nice. Well, we'll maybe we'll just call you Dregs too. So or
hey, I
Dregs,
like
but
that. That's good with me. I like that. That'll be good.
yeah, perfect. All right. Melissa, did you ever get a nickname growing up or anything? Like any of the sports you played or anything? Um, any like
Um, you know
I
what?
know I might
My
have put
brother
you on the spot on
started
that.
so my brother started calling me Missa when I was little, and that took off. So anybody that's like close with me, I absolutely hate Mel. So when people call me that, I'm like, oh my God, please don't. But yeah, anybody that's like close to me, yeah, I was always Missa.
And obviously you two know each other. You guys are you've helped link this up, Melissa, and I guess maybe give the listeners of a little bit of a story of why Tuff means a lot to you and how you're supportive of his journey coming up through horse racing and what you love seeing him accomplish here over the next several years too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a part of chuck wagon racing my whole life just because like my family always was. So I grew up in the world. And then it was always something really special my dad and I shared, and it was awesome. And then yeah, I kind of grew up and was away from it for a little while, and then my dad passed away just about 2 years ago, and I was really struggling. Like he was like my best friend, and it was a huge loss. But I really wanted to kind of honor him in some way, and do something that was a little different than parachutes. That was more just for kind of my family and our grieving and whatnot. So we started an equine therapy program because that was the other thing my dad and I like. We always we loved youth and horses and helping out where we could. So we created something called Hearts and Hoof Prints. And so that helps youth that are struggling with mental health issues go through a 8-week course of equine therapy with a social worker. And so we didn't really know what to do kind of coming up on the first, I guess, birthday sort of anniversary of my dad's passing. And he didn't want like a big funeral or anything like that. So we kind of talked about it and decided the best thing we could probably do to honor him was to actually sponsor a chuck wagon at our hometown show in Strathmore. And so he was always big on giving the younger generation a chance and supporting where we could. So we, again, have known the Sutherlands forever. So we got hooked up with Tuff. So we had August long weekend and had like a really great time. And it was apparent that Tuff has a lot of talent and he's a great guy. So I thought, we'll take it a little bit of a step further and it can be like continuously honoring my dad and helping him how we can. So, yeah, since then we've just been supporting him and, it's turned into a great friendship. And then he's helped out at Parachutes quite a bit. So yeah, that's how we're here today.
Nice. That's awesome. And tough for you. Kind of, I'm gonna pose the same question to you and the mentorship and the support that you get from Melissa and how much she means to you in the world that you live in and what you're doing to achieve and obviously help her out too at Parachutes for Pets and how much that means to you as well.
Yeah, Melissa has been able to help me continue my journey and chase my dreams of hopefully one day being a champion and whatnot. And she gives me all that opportunity. I'm able to do so. So, our friendship and her sponsorship has helped immensely, and I'm very fortunate for that. And then it's all for a good cause too, and which is such an amazing thing a guy can represent, right? And wear the brand, and even with Parachutes for Pets as well, the other branch, it's just it's all giving back to the community. We love that, and love Melissa for everything that she does.
Yeah, no, she's a gem, as everyone knows. So we've been happy to kind of be a part of what she's been able to create this last year on our end. But obviously, it's been several years in the making of what she's been able to do, and supporting guys with the Calgary Flames that help out too. So um, it's funny because I was talking to Michael Backlund about this, and he goes, "It's not you're supporting us, yes, but you're not really supporting us in a way too." He's like, "What you're doing is supporting the people and the pets, and that's what the most important part is." And obviously, you're a part of that too, Tuff. So just kind of get into your journey here. Chuck wagon racing. It's obviously huge into your family and huge in your bloodlines. It's a sport that maybe not everyone would understand in terms of they might look at it and be like, I could do that, but it's not as easy as it looks, in my opinion, just being around it a bit and knowing some people. But how fun is this sport and how great, and you talked about it before we hit record, it's hugely family orientated too. So can you kind of give us a little bit of a backstory of that and why this has been a sport that you love so much too?
Yeah, so I'm a third generation driver. It all started with my grandfather, Kelly Sutherland. And then my dad married Kelly's daughter, and he married into the sport. He started a little later in life. He started about 30. And then he's been racing for 25 years now. And then I got started when I was 15 years old. So um, I never did outride. I started driving pretty young, so I never really had the opportunity. It was always in the back of my mind to outride, but I think the driving might be a little bit funner. But I
Yeah.
could only tell you what I know. So
Oh
um,
yeah.
yeah, so that family, the family aspect is great because you have people in your corner at all times. And if you ever in a bind, you can depend on each other. So there's my grandpa was racing, and his brother Kirk, Kirk's boy Mitch, and then Mitch's boy Weston, who's an outrider, and then uh, my uncle Mark and his boy Dayton, and then yeah, so there was about 8 of us or something, 7 or 8 of us at one time, all competing in the sport, um, which was pretty crazy. But yeah, we take a lot of pride into that. The sport is it's a lifestyle more so than, I mean, obviously, we do it just for the 1 minute around the track, but
Yeah.
there's so much that goes into it, right? Just before I was on the phone with you, we were just sorting horses, trying to get them off of the north pasture here because we had frost last night. So we're gonna move the 70 head we have wintered here over, and just stuff like that. I mean, it's all scheduled, routined, and then the driving itself. I mean, it changes. Every horse is different. It's not a machine, right? There's no computer to it, so you gotta figure out how horses work. Who they work with. Maybe they don't like the horse they're next to. How are they eating at night? How are they resting? How are they recovering? Right? There's just tons of little things that go into it. So.
Do you guys have? I know some of the other guys I know they have practice tracks around their place. Do you guys have that too with you guys?
Yeah, yeah. So we do all of our spring training here at home. We've been able to create our own facility. I'm pretty sure that all 36 other guys have their own training facility in their whatever that is. So we have dirt tracks. We have a thing called an equisizer, and pretty much what that is it's like a treadmill for horses. Basically, they just run in a circle, and that gets them legged up. Obviously a barn, box stalls, all the works. So
Obviously, a guy like Billy Melville has been a big, ambassador for the sport. Is there things that you talk to him about in terms of it too? Obviously, you got the great family history, but I know everyone that loves watches horse racing. It's not the same without a guy like Billy and how much he means to it and helps keeps growing the sport and passionate about it. But Um, for a young guy and going to a guy like Billy in terms of it, how cool is it to have a guy like him be a great ambassador for this sport too?
Yeah, we I do a little bit of work with Billy actually because we do some stuff for the Grand Prairie Stampede tarp sale, and it's a gala and whatever. So last couple of years, I was able to connect with Billy quite a bit, and obviously I've known him my whole life. But he's our
Yeah.
sports historian, and I don't know anybody that has more knowledge on it than he does. You know, he's really good at his job, and if you ever sent him a photo of, like, let's say you have an old photo with some dust on it on the shelf, who's this guy from the 50s, he'd know right away. He'd be able to tell you. And the sports history is pretty interesting to me. Obviously, I like to read into that stuff. So if I ever have a question, I ask him right away. Yeah, he's great to deal with. And yeah.
And then I guess for sure, we definitely got to ask about the Sutherlands and what they mean for the sport. And a bit you touched on there a bit and what they mean to you. But how cool is it to kind of be a part of that great family history and being a third generation, and then hopefully one day, like I know your passion is to be a champion, and with the people you're around, that's going to happen for sure. Tough, and just the great mindset that you would have towards this sport. But how great is it to be a sponge and learn from a lot of great people around you too?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate with my opportunity. I've been able to have a lot of mentors. That very grateful for that. Yeah, I have a lot of pride for being a part of the family. Definitely some very large shoes to fill, which is a little bit of pressure. But at the end of the day, everybody's there to support you, and they know how tough the sport is themselves. So nobody's really too hard on each other, which is really nice.
Almost seems like that's in a whole too. If I know you're competing against people for that 1 minute, but there's a lot of great people in the industry that kind of give back to those conversations. From what I hear, it's hopefully I'm not wrong on that, but it seems like it's a really caring kind of sport in terms of everyone's there for each other too. But obviously, there's the compete to win and be the first at the top is the most important thing. But being respectful across the way. Um, as we move over to Melissa, I just want to get one more question from you, Tuff, and we'll probably ask you some more here. But why Parachutes for Pets means a lot to you, and how cool is it to be a part of something really special that's being able to create positive change and positive impact in the pets' lives, but a lot of people's lives too, and bringing better days as maybe they have some tough mental health days, but these pets and the people that work at Parachutes for Pets and how much that means to you. What's your why and why you want to help out and be a great ambassador for that place?
Well, as a pet owner and I got a lot of companions myself. I think it's very important for everybody's mental health to be able to, share bonding moments with these animals, whether it's a horse, a dog, or a cat, or a bird. Whatever it means to you. It's people need that to get through their everyday life, and it's a beautiful thing being able to bring it onto the community and give these people opportunities to share that bond. I mean, what would you do if you didn't have your best friend beside you at all the time? I That's just the way I look at it, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Melissa, you probably got a bigger platform than I do, so a lot of people will know about you more than might know about our podcast. But for our listeners that might not know, why and when did you start Parachutes for Pets, and then how great has it been able to see it blossom that it had the way it has been over these last several years too?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually started Parachutes for Pets on a whim in 2019 on my lunch break. I was in law enforcement, and a couple things had happened kind of together that just made me realize that there was some gaps out there. And of course, like being an animal lover my whole life, and understanding, how much animals played a part in my life. And, we would go to calls all the time where we could help the people, but we couldn't help the pets. So we weren't really helping the people because people would be like, I'm not going to leave this domestic situation, or no, I'm not going to the hospital. I'll take my chances at home because I'm not leaving my pet. And even in, flood situations, we had a big flood in Galicia and Siksika in 2013, I believe it was. And people did not want to leave, right? Because they're like, I'm not leaving my pets. If they go, I go, right? So there was just a lot of gaps in the system, and I would spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to to solve it and get their pets taken care of so they could get help. And, sometimes the pets came with me. But I had also just gotten back around that time off of a medical leave because I had been diagnosed with cancer when I was younger. And so I just kind of started my career, got diagnosed with cancer, and completely understood how much my dog Charlie got me through it, because I had a horrible mindset about it. I was kind of just like, poor me, I just got my job, I bought a house, and now this, So Charlie was the one that I kind of ended up doing it for. So the bond was like very real to me at that point. And when I went back to work, I was looking at things through a different lens. So then I started noticing these things. And that day I kind of just couldn't turn a blind eye anymore. There was just too many gaps. Pets were starting to be abandoned to get help with medical pieces that people couldn't afford. And I originally thought, well, I'll go volunteer for an organization that helps owned pets. And I found out there really wasn't anything. So I literally started Parachutes in my mind that day, and it was just going to be a passion project. It was just going to be like, when I wasn't working. And, we just started doing like pet food hampers and safekeeping pieces and here and there. And then COVID hit, and we went from between 30 to 40 requests a month to 618 at the end of March, because what we saw was a lot of, our folks on fixed incomes like seniors or whatnot, they still could get, like a part-time job to supplement that at maybe Walmart or a movie theater or something, but everything was closed. So they lost that part-time, supplement. And so, they were struggling. And then they're also the ones that were isolated most and maybe only had their pets. So we had to think really quick and learn how to start a volunteer base in a pandemic, which was another learning curve. And of course, in my industry, we didn't get COVID, like we didn't stay home during COVID, right? So, so we kind of hit the ground running, and I don't think we ever stopped after that. We just kind of went on just a complete climb and progression and to where we are today.
Yeah, and it's obviously you've made the move to come over to Edmonton too, but the need is there for not just only in Calgary, but obviously in Edmonton too. But we'll talk about Calgary first and how great that place has been, and the way it's blossomed, and the ambassadors and the support you have from a lot, just the Calgary Flames and their alumni, but there's obviously a lot of other people behind the scenes too that help out, isn't there, Melissa?
Oh, for sure. It's a complete community organization. I always call it the PFP community because, we've got 6 amazing Calgary Flames ambassadors. And then, we've got Jamie Pringle, who's the video coach. They're just a great group. And what's really cool about it is we started with Brian McGrattan, because Brian and Michelle absolutely loved pets. And so we started with them. And then one day I got a message from Michael Backlund, who was like, hey, this looks really cool. Like, I want to learn more about this. And and it's just been great, because then Mackenzie Weegar came on board, Dustin Wolf, Devin Cooley, Ryan Lomberg, Adam Klapka. So it's been awesome. And they're all such great individuals that do a lot definitely behind the scenes. They're not here to get photo ops or anything like that. They're awesome. And then, we just have such an amazing community from even Chris Cedarstrand, Katrina LeMay-Doan, just some great community like-minded people. And then, of course, just the citizens of Calgary are phenomenal.
And obviously, you've been able to have 2 events, the 1152 formal. How have those been in the support of what your initiative is here, and having the support again from the local community and a lot of other people too, and what those events mean to you when you were able to put them on?
Yeah, so the first one was last year, and it was amazing. So the 1152 is for Michael Backlund and Mackenzie Weegar. They, a couple years ago, came and said, hey, you know what, we want to, when they started getting more involved in seeing how the need was progressing with the economy and things like that, they said, we would like to do kind of a bigger fundraiser for you. So we came up with the 1152 formal, and it was held at State, and it was awesome. It was a great night, and everything was great. And then so we, right before we even left that night, Mackenzie's like, okay, we're doing this again. So this year it was a little bit overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. It was the TELUS Convention Center approached us about being able to host it, which, when we went and looked at this large room they had, I went I don't know how we're going to fill this. I don't know if that many people will ever come to something we're doing. So the night comes and it was amazing. We were sold out. I think the big aha moment for me was when I turned around and just saw that Craig Conroy and Ryan Huska were there. I was like, what event am I at that those two are coming to, right? Like, it's wild, right? But we also were so fortunate to have Guy and Jane Gaudreau in town. So John was so kind to us at Parachutes, and he was such a great community guy, and he loved his dog Bailey, and he and Bailey were kind of the originals in the NHL before there was a lot of talk of NHL players and their dogs. And he actually, I remember him talking in great length about how Bailey helped him with his mental health, being, younger, away from home, couldn't go home during COVID, having anxiety. So he kind of started that conversation up. So he was such a great guy and a horrible loss. And so last year when we do a Flames calendar every year, and Meredith had gotten in touch to see if Bailey could go into August, Bailey and John, just because that was the month of his birthday and the month he passed. But she really wanted a way to honor Bailey and John because Bailey was grieving with everyone else. So when they came to Calgary in December for the game with Columbus and the tribute, her and I got together, and she was able to grab the calendars, and we just talked a little bit more, and we talked about how great it would be because at the 11:52, we always yes, it's a fundraiser, but we want to celebrate too. So Michael and Mackenzie give out awards to, volunteer of the year, partner of the year. And we talked about how great it would be if there was a Gaudreau legacy advocacy award for people that have worked really hard in the pet industry and animal welfare to, change laws and advocate, and just, animal welfare doesn't get a lot of money historically through grants or anything like that. So people that just, made that one of their charities. So Jane and Guy said, hey, we'd love to come up and present this award. And I was like, absolutely, like, of course. So they flew up, and it was a very heartwarming moment because they had chosen Michael and Frida Backlund for the very first award, because Michael really advocated for, us and other animal groups or animal lovers, and just made sure that, when he had his charities, he was always doing something for the pets. And so, and John and Michael were very close. So that was just an amazing part of the evening. But yeah, it was a phenomenal night, and yeah, it was just great to see so many people come forward for us.
Tuff, I'm looking over at you, and you got a big smile on your face, and seeing what that's been able to kind of create. You know, how special is it for you to see, what Melissa's been able to do, and just with that 11-252 formal. I don't know if you've been a part of them yourselves. I'm sure you probably have, but they're probably pretty cool events to be a part of.
Oh yeah. Well, even just the build from the first year, like Melissa was saying, you had a crazy attendance. There were so many people there supporting it, and they were all there to be there for Melissa at the end of the day too, because she does so much for everybody else in the community. It was amazing. Everybody showed up for her and the cause, obviously. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was also very thankful to be a part of that as well. My family came. It was great. It was a great evening. Good dinner and drinks and good visits, and it was excellent.
Melissa, the passion you speak with is pretty awesome. It's I know how much this means to you, and I'm sure there's days where it's it's go go go, and you might not be able to get a second to breathe, but it's also something that you're able to put a lot of smile on a lot of people's faces, and the staff you have there. I was there the one day, and just amazing to meet a lot of great people that care so much, and yeah, we're happy to be a part of it this year. So in a just a small way, I guess, and we're gonna do a monthly donation every month for all the players that are involved with the program, and supporting them, supporting the pets, supporting the people, and obviously Tuff being a part of our sponsorship this year. Part of what you do, Tuff, is going to go back, and that's kind of what's cool about helping out is kind of that giving back. And so when people listen to our episodes throughout this full season, before every interview we do, those interviews will be brought to you by Tuff Dreger Racing, and so give a plug there, and our sponsors will give that, our guests will give that a plug. So if that's an NHL player, a media member, and then throughout the whole month, we're going to do that too. One thing that we're going to try to do, I've never done this before, Melissa. I'm kind of putting you on the spot. I'm not going to ask you a question, but we have an option to go live for all our episodes. We've never done live in the 8 years we've done it, but there is a button. If you do go live, there's a button where it's like a super chat on YouTube. So so when we do, we're gonna. I don't know how many episodes we'll do live. We're gonna try to do some, but if you hit on the super chats, and a lot of other podcasts do this too. I think the Barn Burner guys. This is me kind of copying something they do. They work with another charity, but anytime someone puts in a super chat, the money that goes to that super chat goes to a charitable donation. So I have to. I have the feature set. It's locked. So I got to unlock it, but so we're gonna do that too throughout the year. I think some people might like that. Maybe after some Flames post game live, we'll do that. So and we'll kind of add help towards the charity costs. But each month we're going to donate $700 to Parachutes for Pets on our end from the 2 Month Hockey Podcast, and that'll start from the regular season all the way to the end of the Stanley Cup Final. So pretty much July 2nd, because July 1st is signing day, and I'd like to come on July 2nd to break all those things down. But yeah, I just want to say thanks for joining us, guys. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add before we sign out, Tuff. If there's, I guess maybe the question to me is, if someone wants to get a hold of you and be a part of what you're doing, what's the best way they can reach out to you? Is there an email? Do you have a website that people can get a hold of you at?
Yeah, I can forward that to you too. It's just tuff@tuffdreger.com. So
Okay.
it's
So I have
it's
that
kind of a
as we set up the
team
link. So
website
I'll
kind of
put that
thing.
in the show notes. Okay.
Yeah, I
Do
can
you
get
have
that
your own
over to you.
website too? Okay.
What's that?
Perfect. Do you have your own website too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we'll tag that in our show notes too. And Melissa, if people want to donate, they want to sponsor, volunteer, anything to get in hold of you, what is the best way for people to do that? I know it, but it's better to.
Yeah.
I know all the links, but it's good to ask you about it.
No, for sure. Parachutesforpets.com, or we're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X. Shoot us a message. We'll get back to you right away. But yeah, we'd love to hear from anyone and everyone. But I also just want to say that you're being very generous in thanking us, but I want to thank you because you have been an amazing support behind the scenes for myself, this charity. I know the guys on the team for the last couple of years. So yeah, I just want to put it out there that you are doing some amazing work and it's very much appreciated.
Thanks, Melissa. And yeah, it's good people to learn from. Got to know you over this last year or longer now, and yeah, it's just been kind of cool to see. Unfortunately, I've been able to make it to those formal events, but one day I will for sure. And obviously, yeah, just watching last night, they got this Amazon series, and I think episode 2 highlights Meredith and Johnny Gaudreau and the Gaudreau family, and um, yeah, I broke down watching that last night, just seeing how much Johnny meant. Never met Johnny, but I know a lot of people that know him, and man, the stories that guy was able to create and positive change in people's lives. I'm very biased. I know Michael Backlund, and I know the heart that guy has, and it's just no surprise that he works with the charity and people like you guys. So, but yeah, we'll tag this in our show notes. So yeah, thanks for everyone for joining us on this episode. We'll have more episodes coming forward, and every episode you guys will hear this season. You hear these 2 companies, organizations' names in our episodes, and if you want to help out, there is a donation link on the Parachutes for Pets website too. So if you guys want to donate, any donation is greatly appreciated. We understand the times are tough, but anything you guys can give to help out, you guys can do that on the website, and we'll have that in our link show notes. So thank you guys. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll chat with you guys very soon.